Hello, my name is Sadie Cohen, and this is my TMATE interview questions video. Starting with question number 1, why do I want to be a teacher? I chose this profession because of my love for children and my love for helping others. I have worked with children my entire life since I was about 13 years old. I started out in 2016 as a gymnastics coach and slowly started doing other things like babysitting, and now what I currently do is a nanny. I nanny for 4 children, and watching these children grow and seeing them pick up on the things that I do on an everyday basis has really helped me have a better understanding of what I want my purpose to be in life, and that purpose is to make a difference in children's lives. I believe that a specific idea of what past experiences I've had in work that prepared me for teaching most would be my experiences coaching gymnastics. Along with coaching gymnastics at Impact Athletic Training Center in Aledo, Texas, I was also an after-school director, which means that when the kids at elementary school were done, they would be picked up by a bus and then brought over to Impact Athletic Training Center as an after-school program until their parents could come pick them up. And within that, I would sit with kids and I would send them off to rotations to do fun things to blow off steam, like ninja camp or gymnastics courses or tumbling classes, just so that they could blow off some steam after school. And then they would come back to me for snack time or for homework time if parents requested it. So I was able to work with children from 5 different elementary schools in Aledo, Texas, and I was able to sit down with them and really get to know them on a personal level, as well as help them get through their coursework like homework, or even just build a fun director-student relationship with these children. I think that those experiences have really prepared me for teaching, in the sense that I know how to work with kids, and I also am confident in knowing that I made an impact in those children's lives as well. I chose the content area 4 through 8 core subjects because I really love that age group specifically. I just remember being in the age of being a 4th grader and going through 8th, and that being a very big transitional time for me. And I still have teachers that I think of and reflect on whenever I'm thinking about my high school and my elementary experiences, and I owe them a lot. And I know that during those times, it was not normal for me in my childhood to be experiencing the things that I was. And I had a teacher to lean on, and I had a teacher to confide in, that made me feel much better about myself and about my life, and helped me get through my coursework during the school year. I want to be able to be that for students. And I also think that this age group is really fun, and that 4th through 8th grade can be hard for some kids, and if I can be a light or I can be a helping hand for those children, then I want to be. I believe that I have 2 main work experiences in my past, and one of those being a gymnastics coach, the other being a nanny. Both I worked directly hands-on with children, and both of these jobs have equally prepared me for what I might experience in the teaching field. With my gymnastics coaching job, I taught from ages 3 all the way up till the age of 18. This was a very enlightening experience for me, because I hadn't worked with such a diverse age of children yet. I had really only been babysitting kids that were a lot younger than me, not any that were like close in age with me. And I believe that this experience prepared me for teaching, because it allowed me to work with different ages, different cultures, different backgrounds, different diversities that I hadn't worked with before. And being able to work with all of these different groups helped me cater and have a better understanding of how to cater to different age groups, different backgrounds, etc. With my nannying job, I've been working with the same family for about 3 years now. I absolutely adore this family, and there are 4 children. They are 2, 4, 7, and 8, so a pretty diverse range of children. The smallest baby, I was able to watch him since he was an infant, and I have been able to watch all 3 of the older girls grow into the young women that they are today. And I believe that this experience has helped me not only experience what it would be like to be a mother in motherhood, but also how I would be able to cater to each of their 3 different personalities in a classroom. No child is ever the same. I've learned that with my gymnastics coaching and with my nannying. And I believe that being able to work with all of these different children would make me a good candidate for this program. A situation that required a great deal of confidence on my end would probably have to have been my guest lectures that I did during my last semester at Tarleton State. I was a sociology major. I have my bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in social work. And for my internship under Dr. Derek Lehman, I performed a series of guest lectures over some of the research that I had been doing. In my undergraduate, a lot of my research pertained to the sociology of deviance, and within that, I picked the subcategory of sex work. Specifically, sex work is kind of a deviant subject, obviously, and it was kind of hard to talk about with different audiences. And in these guest lectures, I did one guest lecture for the sociology of family over the deviance module, and I also did another deviance module for intro to sociology. And in both of those, there was a sector of the lecture where I talked about my own research, and I opened up myself and my research to the critiques and the opinions of others. Given the fact that I am 21 years old, and prior to my undergraduate I had no experience teaching or really public speaking of any sort, I was a little bit nervous to give these speeches and give these lectures to my peers, especially given the content within them pertaining to sociology of deviance. I practiced countless times in the mirror and in front of my fellow students who worked on the research with me, and it took lots of confidence to be able to go up in front of a classroom of people who were around the same age as me and talk about my research that I had been working so hard on. It turns out that a lot of people really enjoyed my lectures, and that is really what pushed me into wanting to become a teacher and wanting to start this grad program. A few study skills and self-improvement practices and reflective strategies that I have found throughout my undergraduate going into my graduate career would be the ability to understand when I have too much on my plate. The past 2 semesters, or the last official year of my undergraduate, I overloaded my schedule. So I did 22 hours in the fall and I did 19 hours in the spring. For a lot of people that would be too much, but for me, I was able to allot a lot of my time into each specific course and what I could and couldn't do that day. So each day I would allot a certain hour or amount of time to do a certain assignment, to check my emails, and to do other things that involved my undergraduate coursework, in order to build a sufficient schedule for me to not feel overwhelmed or not feel like I am doing too much. I was able to not only juggle 22 hours of coursework, but also a job and a social life on top of that, given my ability to allot my time and not procrastinate. I, in high school, experienced a lot of procrastination and was unable to get a lot of things done, but when I came to college, I came up with this system of allowing myself to have a breather and allotting my specific amount of times during the day to certain things so that I would not get overwhelmed. Going off of the last question, something that I think would be really important for me in managing my internship and online coursework would be allowing myself to have those breather moments where I'm not having to do coursework or internship work all the time. I believe that on top of the job that I will be having in the fall and all of the coursework and internship work that I will be doing as well, I will be able to manage that the same way I did during my undergraduate. I am going to give myself times during the day where I can have that to myself. I am going to allot certain days to coursework, allot certain days to internship work, and into the future, into my career after my graduate degree, I will do the same things for myself in order to ensure that I'm not feeling overwhelmed and that I can get all of my work done in a timely manner. To describe a conflict that I had with another person and the way I handled it, I always have one specific experience that comes to mind, and that is when I was presenting my research at a conference in Fort Worth during the last semester of my undergraduate at the SSSA conference. I was presenting my topic over sex work and all the research I had done for it in my undergraduate, which I had worked very hard on, to a board of professors during a session. And during this session, there was a specific professor who did not agree with the ideas that I had surrounding my research. And I had never really been argued with in the sense of somebody not agreeing with me or somebody having something against the research that I was doing. And so during my session, he interrupted me and started asking me questions every time I would go to a new slide. That was really frustrating for me, and I felt really flustered on the podium because we were supposed to wait until the end of each session to ask questions towards that person's research. This took a great deal of confidence for me, but I asked the professor to wait until the end of the session to ask me questions. And then at the end of the session, I carried on with a professional tone, and I was able to answer his questions and defend my research in a timely and responsible manner. This conflict, while it seems small, was really impactful on me because it made me realize that not everybody is going to agree with me, and not everybody is going to like the things that I'm doing. This is a completely natural reaction to particularly deviant things, but it's also a natural reaction to everything in life. Not everybody is going to always agree with me, and not everybody is going to appreciate the things that I am doing. But I am not doing it for everybody. I'm doing it for me, and I want to do it for the students that I'll be working with in the future.